want some sauce?
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
What is up, everybody? In this video I am going to be making the all-time classic Cobb salad. This one was actually invented at the Brown Derby, right? So we're going to be doing another Brown Derby menu item, and it's the Cobb salad. Now it might not even be on the menu now that I think about it, but this was named after the owner of the Brown Derby, and rumor has it that this was invented in the late 20s. And how it came about was the owner one night after a long day went back in the kitchen and said, what the hell is there around to eat? I'm starving. And he wanted to make a salad, so he just grabbed all the stuff that was extra and made a salad out of it. And the stuff that was extra was pretty much this. And this is basically the beginning of the Cobb salad. So we're going to end up making a Cobb salad. And I'm going to try to keep it fairly traditional, but there are going to be a couple of things that I'm going to do a little different in it just because that's my style. So let's go ahead and get started. For the salad, we're going to have to make some hard-boiled eggs. So right here what I've got is just some regular eggs. Just took them out of the fridge, and I'm going to be putting some water in this. As soon as it hits a boil, we're going to turn the flame off, and then we will cover it and we'll let it sit for about 12 minutes. Okay, so it's been 12 minutes. I'm going to pour out the hot water and replace it with cold water to let the eggs cool off. I ended up making some bacon for it, and you can kind of get an idea already how this is done, to have nice pieces of bacon that aren't soaked in fat and they're flat and everything. I have a video on doing this and the temperature and all that other good stuff. Let's make a red wine vinaigrette, which is actually quite traditional for a Cobb salad, even though nowadays people use ranch and blue cheese dressing and stuff. But the Cobb salad was made at the Brown Derby many years ago, and it was named after the owner of the Brown Derby, whose last name was Cobb. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting some red wine vinegar inside a cup here. And when you go out and get red wine vinegar, or I should say mini vinegars, if you have a sulfite, whatever, sensitivity, sulfites, you need to be very careful because a lot of times they put it in this. But this is a organic one that doesn't have any sulfites except naturally occurring, so this one's not bad. And I'm going to be using a stone ground mustard here. Okay, but if you want to, you can use like a honey mustard or something like that. The important thing is just to get a little bit of that mustard inside there. A little bit of ground black pepper, touch of salt. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start pouring some olive oil in this, and typically it's about a 2 to 3 ratio. If you want to add any particular types of herbs to this, you can. I'm also going to be adding a little bit more acid to this, but also a little bit of lemon juice. If you want to add something like Worcestershire sauce, you can. If you want to add oregano, you can. If you want to add garlic, you can. This is the basic old school method right here that is somewhat, I guess you can say, traditional red wine vinaigrette. And that's kind of what we're keeping with. Oh, there's one thing I'm forgetting. Honey. Which, like I said, with the mustard, sometimes you can get the honey mustard and that'll work. But let's put a little bit of sweetness in this. I'm going to add just a touch of oregano, and after this sits for a while, that herb flavor from the oregano is going to end up permeating this considerably. This is essentially how you make a red wine vinaigrette. And I know you go, that doesn't look very red. Well, there's mustard in there and olive oil, but it has a very strong red wine vinegar flavor. Last thing I'm going to add, just a little bit of parsley. That's something that I know you probably won't see, but I think when people look at salad dressings and they see that there's a lot of stuff in it like this, it looks, I don't know, it looks like there's more stuff in it. It's probably the best way to put it. Sorry about the noise, but I'm washing dishes. Here I got a couple of fine ripened tomatoes, and you want to use basically all of it except for just this core portion. So I'm going to be slicing at a slight angle here and cutting this out. Vine ripened are always better, and these are organic. But at this point, because of the way that the skin is right here, I have to kind of do a sawing motion to get it to kind of cut through and not smash it. I'm going to call that good for that. Remember our eggs. Well, we can go ahead and chop these guys up. Okay, we have our avocado, and you can watch my video on how to tell if an avocado is ripe, and so when you go and you buy it, you get the right one. But in order to cut this, we're going to basically send our knife through until it hits the seed, then just kind of follow that seed around. Okay, and at this point you grab it, you turn it, and there you go. Look at that, that's a beautiful avocado. Now this is going to start browning as soon as you do that. If you leave the seed in one side, that side won't brown. Okay. One thing that you can do to kind of prevent this from browning is putting a little lemon juice. So anyway, what we want to do is we want to slice down this, and we want to be careful not to cut through the skin and slice our hand open. Okay, but essentially you're doing that, and then you come through and you do the same thing here. You want to feel the knife kind of go down the skin, but you don't want it to go through the skin. Okay. Now that that's done, we can take that out. So using a spoon, go around the outside of the avocado and just kind of scoop everything out. What are we going to do to prevent this from browning? Well, I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice on it. You can also crush up a vitamin C tablet and put on there, and that will prevent it from oxidizing. This won't brown. Okay, so I'm going to call that good. Okay, so far so good. Now the only thing that we really have left is cutting up the lettuce, and generally, typically, traditionally, you use iceberg. Okay, iceberg lettuce. My wife does not like iceberg lettuce, so I'm going to be using romaine. And romaine will work just fine. Cut the bottom off. So let's go ahead and put this together. Okay, so we got our lettuce on there. And something that I will generally do is I'll put a little bit of black pepper on the lettuce itself. And then you want to start building it up. Now what I've got here is some chicken that I had seasoned up, and generally you don't season it up or anything like that, and it's usually baked or steamed or boiled or something along the grilled, but it's usually not fried. I broke that rule, and what I ended up doing is I ended up seasoning some chicken pieces and put a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, a little bit of parsley, a little bit of thyme, and we basically want to put this on the salad. And you know, the Cobb salad was made one night after work at the Brown Derby, and they just ended up saying, "I'm hungry, what's available?" And then they just started grabbing stuff that was left over and they made a salad out of it, and that's how you got the Cobb salad. We're going to put our bacon. In my opinion, you can never have enough. Put our egg. Put our tomato. And like I said, I'm going to be adding a little bit more tomato than normal, just simply because my wife really likes tomatoes. Remember that avocado that I put in the refrigerator? Not brown. Okay. It's a good way to make it keep its color. I'm going to put the avocado on this side, not that it really matters. And the very last thing is blue cheese. You could use feta. Once again, I'm going to hit this with a little bit of black pepper. Just a touch of salt, especially on things like the avocado, egg, and tomato. You'll see that the things that don't need salt are on this side, and the things that do are on this side. If you want to put some onions on this, you could. You could put some green onion on this. That would be nice. And of course, our red wine vinaigrette. And there's a lot here. This is enough for like 2 salads, 3 salads, easy. But there you go, guys. The Cobb salad, invented at the Brown Derby, Los Angeles, California, in the early 1900s. And there's a lot of different variances on this salad. I mean, depending on where you go, there's going to be people that just give you a garden salad. They're going to call it a Cobb, or instead of chicken, they'll give you ham or something like that. Because it's changed over the years. I mean, it's been decades and decades and decades since its invention. Not only that, but dressing, same thing. If you don't want a vinaigrette, you can end up using something like a ranch or a blue cheese dressing or whatever you want. But that is a good salad. That will hold you over. After eating that, you will not be hungry. And hey, it's guilt-free, right? So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click like, make sure you hit subscribe, check out my other videos. Got lots more of them, cool like this. And until next time, I will talk to you later.